Hey there. Thanks for joining us for this special Q&A episode of the Made It in Music podcast. Recently, we posted an episode with Tara Simon, who's a professional singer, songwriter, and celebrity vocal coach. Make sure you check that out when you get the chance. In this episode, members of our Song Chasers community got to ask some specific questions, and now you get to hear the answers. Our Song Chasers community members get to watch these trainings live every single month. They get to interact with me and each of our guests, and then we always open the floor for them to ask any questions they want. If you would like to learn more about the Song Chasers community, head over to joinsongchasers.com. Now, let's go ahead and get into this Q&A session with Tara Simon.
Bigger artists, and because they're singer-songwriters themselves, they think, well, if I just perform this well enough, and if I just hit this note or riff off this note enough, then certainly Rihanna's going to pick it up. And I'm like, Rihanna, A, may not even listen to it. And B, if she does, she doesn't want to hear you in the song. She wants to hear her in the song through you so that she can relate, attach, and then pick up the song. And eventually, essentially, that's what you want too. But sometimes our ego gets in the way and we think, well, if we just try hard enough, then, right? But that's not the case. It's not about you or you in the song. It's about how the song makes the person who's picking it up feel. And that goes for whatever your purpose is, if it's outside of yourself, licensing, artist placement, whatever. If it's for you and if it's for personal use, then that's a different story, right? But I would still recommend, if it's a demo, to make it clean. Don't add, and again, I'm speaking to myself because I'm a riffer and a runner, right? But don't add all that stuff into a demo. You want to be, it's like a very clear map, you know? You don't need all of the leaves on the trees and the mountains. You just need a little carrot for the mountain. You need a little path with dots. It's an outline. It is not the finished product, okay? So think stick figure life here, not complete artistic painting that costs 10 grand, all right? You don't want the stick figure to suck. It needs to have a straight spine. But it doesn't need to be more than a stick figure. It needs to be really clean, really easy to hear, and let the song breathe life of its own within the context of that example. Does that make sense? Wait, someone just said, hey, are you single? It does not matter. You can laugh. You killed it today. Thank you. Well done. And yes, the opening line was intended for humor only. Okay. Well, Dave, that's funny. Okay. So other than Dave's, are you single question, which, yes, I guess I am. Anybody else have any other questions for me? So the topics, just to remind you, in case I was talking too fast and you couldn't write quick enough, was melodic line design, singer's dream rhyming scheme, writing for vocal style, and how to demo your song. I'll open it up for questions on that and any other questions you might have.
Yeah, super helpful. This is awesome, Tara. Great format. And I just want to piggyback on everything that you're saying and second it, that I think so much of the time, the limiting factor with why people's songs aren't getting heard or getting cut or getting placed is often just because it's the wrong voice, or the person isn't really a singer and they need to get over their pride and just hire somebody to do it. Or, write with people who are singers. Like, that's so much of it. Like, all of the top writers that I work with who are top liners in Nashville, whether it's in Christian or pop or in country, the one thing that they all have as a common denominator is they're all pretty dang good singers in and of their own right. Like, they're, Shane McAnally is not like gonna be singing vocal backflips around anybody, but he's a great singer. Like, he can sell a song with emotion.
Yes.
And so I just want to second everything you're saying, that yeah, you definitely don't have to be an amazing singer to be a songwriter, but you have to know how to at some point get your songs into great demo format if you want anybody to really gravitate towards them. So I know that's very much the case.
Yeah, for sure. Some people asking questions here. Thanks, Joelle. This is so helpful for me. Awesome. Thanks, Seth, or thanks, Mac, for being on. Appreciate you. How basic should a demo be? Drums, bass, piano, one vocal. Okay, I'll let Seth piggyback on this too, but in my opinion, for starting out, piano vocal or guitar vocal is more than fine. It just needs to be really clean and well done. Seth?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. That's what we always say. If it's a really, really good piano vocal, like it's clear, it's on pitch, it's on time, it's not like overly processed and affected out. A piano vocal or a guitar vocal is more than fine, especially if you're just starting out with production. I'd rather have that than somebody who's just starting out and trying to throw the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah, for sure. David's saying, ouch, hire out, but I did and experienced the positive results on that project. Yeah, it's not easy to trust other people with something that's so private and personal, right? And something that's so inwardly you. But look, you are only as great as the sum of your parts. And if you are a one-man show, that's only going to get you so far. I've learned in business and in life, like you need a good team of people. You need a good network. People need people. And that is not mutually exclusive to business. It's also completely pertaining to music as well. So Debbie's saying, what is the balance? Simple and clean and not overproduced, but done enough to get noticed. Yeah, exactly. Like what Seth said. Iris is saying, I study voice and I'm a soprano and a coloratura. I'm a coloratura in classical music, but I'm really more vocally an alto when it comes to, and that's something else, by the way, like singers get this wrong all the time. We're talking about vocal classification here. Iris said soprano and coloratura. Well, coloratura, yes, it has to do with tonality in classical music, but it's really how high you can sing, because coloraturas are the highest in classical music. You're talking about songs like Queen of the Night, like the doll song from Tales of Hoffmann, right? All songs that I love to sing, but you hear the way I speak. I don't talk like this. I'm not that way, right? That's a soprano. I'm really more of an alto, and I have alto notes. You base your classification not off of your range, you base it off of your vocal timbre. And nobody knows that. Like, I don't know why it's a singer's thing. Like, oh, how high can you sing? And that's basically what people classify you as. And I think it's because when you grow up in choirs, based on how high you can sing, they put you in soprano, alto, tenor, or bass, right? But that's really not properly done. It's based on your timbre and texture, how your vocal tonality is, not necessarily how high or low you can sing. Offshoot topic, but I had to rant on that for a second. Okay, Mike Moore, can vocal coaching improve range? How much, and how much are we limited by nature? That's a really good question, and it's fair. So I'll give you some examples, some real life examples of vocal range improvement. And this also has to do with age, because I have trained both male and female within puberty, and that's totally different ball of wax. I don't think anybody here is in that phase of life. So let's just assume that we're adults so that we can move that outlier out of the way and say, like, how much could an adult improve their range and vocal flexibility? At my studio, training's once a week. So it's on you 6 days of the week. Yeah. And that's really where the magic happens. So if you are working, and I don't mean like the person who hires a personal trainer and says, I'm going to eat well, and then they're eating Snickers in the dark. Yeah. That's not happening. You're not going to improve your range. Once a week is not enough. But if you listen to the instruction I give you and you actually go home and do the work, I've had students improve by a third in a month, like a major third. That's 4 semitones. Yeah. For you musicians who know, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, they were totally most likely green, hadn't had a lesson, had a lot of room to improve. I've also had people who have had other vocal coaches improve by whole steps in a lesson. I've had people that it takes 6 months to gain a whole step because they were so well utilizing what they had. There wasn't that much more to go. However, when there's not that much more to go in one register, there's always another, right? There are multiple registerical differences in our voice. You don't just use your chest voice and head voice. There are breaks lower than chest. There's the mix in between chest and head. There's the falsetto. There's the whistle. I mean, there's lots of different, I would say, rooms in that house to access. And most people really only ever know how to access 1, 2 at best. The mix is the all elusive one to access. And that's what most people get help on. You're questioning whistle. Whistle tone is like Mariah Carey notes. Yeah. It's very, very, very high. And it's a very specific squeeze in your epiglottis that happens in the back that enables you to do that. It's definitely a musculature thing as well as a mind thing. Okay. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Range can and should be expanded. It's one of the markers of improvement if you are taking vocal lessons. And I'm sure that, I see you guys are interested in asking a lot of questions vocally like that. If you want, I'll give, I'm actually happy to put it in the chat if you want, but I can put in the links to, I have an 8-week course and a 4-week course, as well as a link to private lessons and stuff. So if that would be helpful for you guys, I can try to include that. Okay, I'm going back.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if people are interested in potentially working with you on a deeper level. Definitely share any links to how they can get a hold of you, check out your material, links to obviously, your website and all that good stuff. All
right, cool. Let me get those in there. I think I can.
And it can be, it's a huge, we're always thinking about, in Song Chasers, of like, what are the things we can add to our toolbox to set you guys up to succeed? And one of those big things is having a voice that you can use to support your songs and better sell your songs.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just a matter of working with somebody who knows what they're doing, like Tara, who knows how to get you there and get you singing a song with emotion and with feeling, and it sells a convincing demo.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need that sounding board of someone like a personal trainer. Again, as my form right here, like you probably know, you think you know anyway, and it's the small little incremental, just do it, change this one little thing. And it's like, whoa, I had no idea that I could sound that way, or I had no idea I had that many more reps in me, so to speak. So it's usually smaller things that you just didn't or couldn't see or hear for yourself that person on the other end hears. Because by the way, when we listen to ourselves, unless you're listening back, our inner ear doesn't hear the same thing that, say, me or Seth would hear out in the room. You hear room, but you also hear your own internal sound as well through your ears, and it's happening simultaneously. So it's not exactly the same thing, which is interesting. You think you're really hearing you, but you're kind of not. Let me go back to here. I don't do well changing from low alto. Iris is saying, so you teach people how to do the transition from low alto to, yes, low alto to soprano. Right. So that just means that you have a pretty pronounced break. So here's a great visual example for you guys who have hard breaks. Think about a break as you're making Jell-O instant pudding. All right. And you have the dry ingredients, right? And then you put in the milk and you have the wet ingredients and you're mixing it and you're like, not only does this look disgusting, but I don't see how this could ever get better, right? And you keep whipping it because the instructions say for 3 minutes, right? And you're just like, I feel like way too much time has gone by. This is gross. I want to stop. And then all of a sudden, somehow out of nowhere, I hope this helped you guys, and I hope it was informative. I don't want to belabor it or make it longer than it needs to be. I think I said what I wanted to say in regards to helping you guys write for singing. And again, if you, nice to meet you, everybody. If you want to check out any of the courses or the website, please do. And if you want the free tutorials, just check out who did that in the chat.
Absolutely. And if people are listening to this on a podcast for the replay, what's a good URL for people to check you out?
You can find everything just by going to TaraSimonStudios.com, or if you want to look me up on YouTube, you can just search Tara Simon Studios on YouTube and I'll pop up as well.
Awesome. Hey, well, this has been a blast. I've learned a ton. You're an amazing singer, an amazing teacher, and I'm excited to hear your new stuff that you're working on as well too.
So many things. Yes. Thanks, Seth. It was a pleasure being here, and God bless you guys. This is great that you're investing in yourself and growing your craft. You're in the 1% just by being here and saying yes to yourself for doing that, because not a lot of people do. And I think that's a really beautiful and important thing. So thanks for entrusting me today with your time and for entrusting Seth with your talent. It's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Tara. I appreciate it. And thanks everybody for logging on. We will see you sometime. Well, actually tomorrow morning, we've got our weekly coffee chat. So we'll see you then.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye guys.
See ya.
Thanks for checking out this special Q&A episode of the Made It in Music podcast. At Full Circle Music, we're constantly developing free and premium resources for anyone who wants to find success in the music industry, because we know it's hard. We've all started with nothing, and we want to help you accomplish the dreams that you've always had for the music you create. You can go to madeitinmusic.com to learn more about our podcast. And if you'd like to actually participate in these training and Q&A sessions live on our Song Chasers community, go to joinsongchasers.com. Joining these sessions is an exclusive opportunity just for members, and we would love to have you join hundreds of other songwriters inside the community if you're interested. Plus, there are dozens of other major benefits that Song Chasers members get that we have designed to help move their careers and goals forward as simply as possible. Again, go to joinsongchasers.com. Thank you for supporting this show, and I hope you'll stick around for the next episode.